Hi, Papa Joe here. The restaurant's closed. It's Sunday morning, and I just wanted to kind of show you a little bit of what I do on days when the restaurant's closed. I always tell people I do all the dirty work. I clean the grease traps. I fix the air conditioning. I descale the dishwasher. But this time I'm doing something that's actually a little bit more pleasant. I mean, I'm going to be doing some. I'm sure a lot of you are seeing our fig tree out back. It's a pretty nice fig tree. Well, what I did was I took these clippings off the fig tree, and I took a part of the fig tree off that was going up over the sidewalk, and I'm going to wrap it for the winter. But first I'm going to take some clippings and I'm going to try to root them. I'm not going to try, I am going to root them. And I'm going to have I'm going to try, I think, a dozen clippings. And what we're going to do is we're going to see how many fig trees we can get out of this. So the first thing that we have to do, we cut it off near a node, if you see the node down there. If you've seen a fig tree, you know where the nodes are. And basically what we try to do here is we try to take just a little bit of the wood off the base on two sides. And it gives, in addition to the node, as you can see I cut it, it gives the roots a place to grow out of once they once they get established in our peat moss that I'm going to use. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to prepare some cups to put the branches in to take root. And first thing you want to do is you want to just make some holes in the bottom so that they drain. Now, as you see what I'm doing here, I'm just cutting with a utility knife. I'm cutting a few slots in the bottom. You know, I know I'm here talking kind of like an expert, although I've never done this before. But I went to the YouTube school on rooting, watched about 3 or 4 rooting videos, and I think I'm prepared to do it now. So now that I have these prepared, you see the little slit in there probably. I'm using a clear cup because I was told by the authority, YouTube, that clear cups work very well because you can actually see the trees rooting. My next step is to take this peat moss that I just got from Lowe's this morning and prepare it to accept my cuttings. Now the next job is to wet the living shit out of my peat moss. I'm just going to add a shit ton of water in there and I'm going to mix it up. You can't add too much water to this because you're going to wring some of it out when you put it in the cups, so that it's pretty moist, but not not drenched. Okay, so now that my peat moss is nice and wet, what I'm going to do is take a handful of it, wring it out real well, so it's still really moist and wet. It's actually more than moist, it's pretty wet, and put it in the cups. And I'm going to put it in, I think I have 12 here, so I'm going to put it in all 12 cups. So the next thing we want to do is we want to prepare, you see I have them all in the glasses there, all the peat moss. I want to prepare them to accept the cutting. So that's pretty simple. All you do is push a big one in there, wring it out, make a little hole, repeat it 12 times, or if you have 20 cups, 20 times. Now the reason I said we had to prepare it is because the next step is putting the rooting hormone on the part of the cutting that's going to go into the peat moss. So we wet the cutting, we put it in rooting hormone, get some powder on it, like that, tap off the residual, and then put it in the hole. Now the reason we prepared the hole was so we didn't knock off all the rooting hormone as we were jamming the cutting into the peat moss. Now that they're all in, we just kind of push down the peat moss and make sure that there's good contact between the peat moss and the cuttings. So this is pretty much the finished product. All I have left to do is you have to cover them with plastic to keep the humidity inside for a few weeks. But then the holes the holes will allow the water the water to leak out the bottom so that it doesn't get too wet and drown out your plants, because they do need moist but not wet soil. So here's the finished product. Covered them in plastic. I use those big ass 2-gallon food storage bags. They seem to work pretty well. I covered 3 apiece, and that should keep most of the moisture in. And all that's left to do is put them in a room between 50 and 70 degrees with ambient light, and wait and see how they take root. And then finally, those of you who know me know I don't like one-use things, so I take my glass here, take the water and peat moss out, and I think I'll fill it with tomate today. Anyway, as some of you may have noticed, I really didn't rinse out the glass, so there probably is a little bit of peat moss in there. But no, those of you that know me know that I really like a full-bodied, earthy wine. And what's earthier than a little bit of peat moss? Oh, that's awesome. So anyway, that's it. That's another exciting exciting day in the life of Papa Joe. For those of you that got too excited and have a heart rate of 140 and some chest pain, you better go to the ER. Tell them you were watching one of these riveting Papa Joe videos, and they'll understand. Basically, what they'll do for you is they'll sedate you, but they'll probably go right past the Xanax and into the Haldol or something like that, because they know that if you get that excited over a Papa Joe video, there's more wrong with you than excitement. So anyway, salute. Oh, one more thing. I know those of you who are watching the video, I mean, most of you are there saying, Papa Joe, how did you get to be so fucking awesome? How can you be an internationally acclaimed winemaker, an anesthesiologist, a grease trap cleaner, a dishwasher descaler, and now a fig cutting rooter? Well, it's not that I'm so often, it's just that I'm not afraid to fail. I'll try anything, and let's face it, the jury's still out on these figs, whether they're going to make it or not. So, see ya, thanks.